Hello, this is Rob Pittman coming from his Christmas tree room. So we'll have a little holiday cheer as we do changes in medieval society. So first, one, we have a growing food supply. From 800 to the 1200s, there was a warmer climate. The people of Europe also switched to animal power. They used both oxen and horse, which allowed them to be more proficient at their plowing. They also used a three-filled system, which I mentioned earlier in a previous online discussion videos. Kind of feels like the night before Christmas, doesn't it? If you look off to field one, you can see where it says wheat. Field two, they would have barley, and then field three would be fallow, which means they wouldn't use it right then. Now, in towns, they had things called guilds. These were organizations of individuals in the same business working to improve social and economic conditions. The cobblers, the wheelwrights, the barrel makers, also known as coopers. There were merchant guilds, the people who did different things. Craft guilds, merchants sold stuff, Craft guilds, where they created things. They were crafty, not like scrapbooks though. And in craft guilds, they would start people out as apprentices, journeymen, and then masters. Now, the commercial revolution. People realized you had to have a market, so they created fairs where people could sell their goods. And then they also increased trade items between towns. This could be one city specializes in salt, and another one is near a iron spot, so they make metal instruments. Now, they also started the idea of banking at this time. If you wanted to start a business, you had to have money, so you had to have bankers. Bill of exchange. You could get it from one spot and then give it to another spot and get money from that. This is the start of paper money. Usury. Now, this is an interesting practice. Usury is the loaning of money. At one time, you'd go to hell if you loaned money. And so it led to actually a lot of Jewish people who loaned money, which is where the idea that Jewish people controlled all the money comes from. It's not true at all. It was a pope who made that happen. And then society changes as towns got more power, wealth, they had banks there. They started to have a new class of people, who made their own wealth. They didn't inherit it. They weren't royalty. Urban life flourishes. Trade in towns, they grow together. As trade increases, the town size increases. Excuse me. This merchant class, they shift the social order. All of a sudden, the people that are selling goods, they had to have a spot in the social order. They controlled the purse strings of many, many different towns in medieval Europe. Burghers were their name. These would be the leading citizens of a town. If you look off in the picture here, you can see a nice little, Tudor-style town where they have wattle and reed roofs. Now, the revival of learning. Vernacular. That is the spoken everyday language of the people. One of the most famous and one of the first vernacular books was Dante Alighieri's The Divine Comedy, which is the main character tries to rescue his beloved Desdemona from being in hell, and so he has to go through hell and everything. It's actually a really kind of cool book. I like where he goes through different levels of hell and he meets people there and he's like, oh, what's going on? And they're all like, yeah, I'm getting roasted alive. Now, Geoffrey Chaucer, he also wrote the Canterbury Tales. Alighieri is an Italian. Chaucer, he is English. I've been to both these dudes' graves and their houses. It's kind of cool. I really do enjoy the Canterbury Tales also. Medieval philosophy. Probably one of the biggest mans is St. Thomas Aquinas. He wrote the Summa Theologica, which is Latin for, let's summarize, religion. And in that, he basically laid out an intellectual justification for the existence of a God. Now, scholasticism. That is, how can we combine reason and salvation, which is what Aquinas did in the Summa Theologica. If you have more questions or interest in that, take philosophy with me and we can get it done. And that is a picture of Thomas Aquinas there. All right. I hope everybody enjoys this Christmas special Notes from World History. And until I see you again, happy holidays.